All right. So what to expect from this week? This one is juicy. I almost posted this in the group yesterday, like don't miss this one because this one's really juicy. But what you can expect in this week is understanding what the 7-hour rule is and how you can implement it. If you have never heard of the 7-hour rule, I may have mentioned it last week or the first week, but we're going to dive pretty deep into what that is and how you can implement it in your business to make your life a lot easier. Understand where and how to create high value content. That's Facebook, YouTube. You're going to be implementing a DM sequence. And we're going to talk about what that looks like and how to get that set up. You're also going to be creating a Facebook welcome email sequence. Fortunately, it's all kind of in a template form. And so really you just have to it's like journal prompts. Like you take the prompt and you answer it. And so that's kind of what the template sequence is that will welcome and indoctrinate folks as they're entering your Facebook group. So it's not like you have to create it from scratch. I don't want you to like black out because you get freaked out at the thought of composing your own emails. I just want to give you fair warning that that's in here and don't be too scared. Amanda, I see you laughing. So we're also going to understand the purpose of discovery calls, what those are, and how to conduct them to get the kind of most bang for your buck. You're going to be creating a YouTube channel if you have not already. I know a lot of you folks already have, not everyone though. And it's not as painful as you think. I promise you on my cat's life, all 3 of them. It's probably going to take about half an hour, just full disclosure, pretty straightforward. And you're going to understand and implement a couple tools for scheduling and automation. So kind of like a best practice or rule of thumb to keep in mind, especially when you're at this point that you guys are at with your business, is think of how you can like systematize and then outsource or systematize and automate rather than you working inside of your business all the time. So what I mean by that is you doing everything by hand rather than being able to systematize it and automate it or systematize it and outsource it to like a VA that will kind of be like a human automation, if that makes sense. All right. So the 7-hour rule. And again, I can't remember if I mentioned this in previous calls, but this is basically the gist of it. So big decisions, meaning high ticket purchases. So if you're doing high ticket affiliate marketing, whether you're promoting a course or a coaching program or an event or any other kind of digital product that is a big investment, those usually mean that a potential customer, before they're even willing to shell out that money, that they, number one, get to know you. Meaning they know you're a real human. They have a face to match up with the name. They quote, have a feel for you, like they've consumed enough of your content and been around you enough to know, okay, she's not crazy. She's not a scammer. She's a real person. Like, what are the things that kind of motivate her? Like, why is she here? What am I getting from the messaging in her content? It's generally also required before someone will make a purchase, like a sizable purchase, that they've viewed your high value content. So high value content means not necessarily stuff that's short form like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube shorts, but high value content meaning long form content. So something where you might find that on YouTube or within a Facebook group, so that you're actually able to answer questions and explain things fully, doing like tutorials or walkthroughs or Q&As, rather than, oh, here's a 15-second video where I'm dancing around and pointing to the screen, just trying to grab your attention and get you over to my Facebook group. That high value content can also include case studies and testimonials. Me and Carol were just talking about this today, but I think that everyone really needs to hear that like case studies and testimonials are so valuable for your business. Even if it's just something like, oh man, Jill totally answered all my questions. Like, I feel like I have such a good grasp of what affiliate marketing is. And if this is something I can like work with on my schedule, whenever it's like when somebody's really excited that you were able to help them, capitalize on that, huh, Carol? Like when somebody's really genuinely excited, like, girl, you just provided so much value. Ask them for a testimonial, ask them to post about it in the group. You know what I mean? And screenshot it, because that person will be genuinely excited and people get to see that. And then you get to utilize that in your business, like on an ongoing basis. And we'll see like more about how you can use case studies and testimonials in a more specific way. But just keep in mind, like anytime you help someone, just start building that into your mindset. Like, I need to get a case study or a testimonial. And just as like a point of differentiating what the difference is between a case study and a testimonial, think of a testimonial as it can either be like a written testimonial, like an email form, or it could be like a Facebook comment or a DM that you can screenshot and then, store in your testimonials folder. It could also be a short video, like maybe a 1-minute video, 2-minute video, something like that. Think of a case study as going way more in depth. So that could be like a 15 to 30-minute video where it's more like in an interview format, where one person, like let's say it's me, and I'm working with a brand new affiliate marketing client that's going through my coaching program and is, setting up their online business. So let's say that, in their first 60 days that they earned $2,000 and they just like were out there killing it. that's like somebody who I want to highlight that is an action taker that did everything that they were supposed to during like the training and was really going out and doing what was being asked, and what their results were was, great return on their investment, et cetera. So in a case study video, I would get on there and be like, hey, where were you before? Like what was going on in your life that brought you to affiliate marketing? What kind of things had you tried before that hadn't worked? Whether it was affiliate marketing or other online business models or, just anything else. But what had you tried? What other courses, what other programs, et cetera? And then describe what it was like when we started working together. Like what was the quality of the coaching? Like what was the quality of the recorded content? Like that type of thing. And then tell me where you are now. And would you recommend my coaching? Like what would you tell people who are sitting on the fence? What would you tell them about your experience of what they should do? Does that make sense? So it's basically like, it's an interview that you record, and you're just asking people for their honest feedback and their honest experience, and using that to say, look, straight out of the horse's mouth, this was what they were struggling with. This is what they did. This is what the result was that they got. And this is the advice that they would give to people like you who are watching. It's highly, highly valuable. Excuse me. And when people feel like they got a lot of value out of working with you, they will generally be more than happy to give you that case study, even if it means taking like 30 minutes out of their day to like sit down on a Zoom call and record that. Does that make sense? Generally, a potential customer or a lead needs to perceive you as an authority. So if that includes like a perception of external competence, meaning you're not like, well, I think that if you do this training, you should be okay. That's a vast, that's a far cry from saying, look, if you take this training, it's not going to guarantee your success, but that's the training I took to get started. And that has enabled me to get this, and this type of result. And so if you're willing to come, take the training, put in the work, and continue to iterate and try different things until you get that result, you will have success. Like the way that I said that versus, well, I guess you could take this training. That's how I started. Maybe. Do you want me to send you my link? That's a completely different, like in terms of the competence and the authority that you portray. So really like be cognizant. And especially, I know that there are some men's here on this call, but especially as women, like think about it. If somebody asks you your name, what's your name? Barb McGowan or Barb McGowan? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a question, it's a statement. And I know that women, especially, we tend to respond to things as if we're questioning what our name is, rather than stating it as an authoritative fact confidently. So just something to be cognizant of as you go forward in creating content. And you might feel like you're yelling or like sound like my dad or something like that. But I think what you'll find is that you will become more confident as a result of demonstrating confident behaviors, and then it will feel more natural. Does that make sense? Alrighty. And generally, we also want our leads to understand that we have a solution to a painful problem that they're experiencing. So we can take them from, you've probably heard this, or maybe you haven't heard this description before, but it's like Hell Island, where you currently reside. That's where all your problems, your pain points, your roadblocks, and your questions live. And then we have Heaven Island over here. And the thing that can bridge Hell Island to Heaven Island, that's the product that I'm like promoting. That's the offer that I have. And that's the solution that can take you from this place of pain and annoyance and frustration and all that stuff to the desired situation that you want to get to. This is my excellent art skills. I'm pretty proud. You can also kind of think of the 7-hour rule as, so there's an active way of going about creating content, getting your content into the hands of your consumers.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hey, girl. How are you feeling?
Made it. Good. Good. Way better. Good, finally.
So we're just talking about what the 7-hour rule is. I talked about it, I think, past weeks, but basically it's a way of getting high value content in front of your audience in an active way. And so that's kind of like where we're at right now. So getting that high value Facebook and YouTube content in front of your audience in a way that is going to convey your authority, your expertise, and is also going to answer their questions. So remember back to, the AIDA funnel, where at the top is attention. We've already grabbed their attention, and now we want to move them from interest to intent to decision to action to buy from us. And so we need to be active about putting high value content in a systematic way in front of our audience so that they can take that in, and it's going to kind of not, hit all these bullet points, allows our potential customer to get to know us. They're going to take a look at our high value content, see what we have to offer, how we deliver that content. kind of like what makes us unique, what helps differentiate us and our content and our teaching style or our style of education and providing value, how we're different than, you know, Joe Schmo, the next guy over with the Facebook group. So we're creating content all the time, right? Like we'll create content on TikTok, we'll repurpose it for Instagram, maybe we'll go live in our Facebook group. But the 7-hour rule, the thing that is different from just regular old, just creating content willy-nilly for anyone to stumble across and find, which is kind of like this first box that shows help wanted. It's like putting a sign in your window that says help wanted. The only people that are going to see that sign and apply to be that help wanted, like apply to that job, are going to be folks that just happened by your store, that just happened to see that sign and that happen to need or want a job and happen to need or want to work for you. Versus like this gal on the right where it says active. So she's actively calling and recruiting candidates. She's actively like reaching out to people and saying, hey, these are the benefits of working at our place. Like come work for my bakery. Don't work for the bakery down the street. We pay better wages. Like here's how we're different. Here's how we're better. Here's a sample of, you know, here's case studies and testimonials from our employees that say we love working here. So think of passive, like just straight up content creation is more passive. You're just putting content out there on whatever platform and hoping that your audience is going to come and consume it. Versus the 7-hour rule, which we're going to talk more about, like how to systematize that content that you create. Then you can, I hate, this sounds kind of aggressive, but you're almost like, okay, I'm force feeding you value, like take this valuable content and consume it. So again, to reiterate, the idea is that you're actively providing high value content for your leads to consume rather than taking a passive approach, waiting for them to consume that content or hoping that they see it on their Facebook timeline. So we don't want to be like subject to any algorithm. And remember, whenever people have come into our Facebook group, they've already said like, hey, I'm willing to like leave TikTok and come over to your Facebook group. Like I'm already willing to make that little micro commitment and say, hey, I'm so like ready to learn that I actually took these micro commitments of leaving TikTok, coming to Facebook, entering my information, answering your questions, you know, like if they're at that level of commitment and interest, that's fantastic because those leads are now go from cold leads on TikTok to warm leads. And the way that you continue to warm up a warm lead or even a cold lead is you provide them with educational high value content. Going back to, what was it? 2 weeks ago where we were talking about the buyer's journey, or maybe it was last week. So remember, after you grab them from that attention stage, that top of funnel content on TikTok, you want to get them in your Facebook group, and then you can provide really high value educational content. And that's going to be in long form video primarily. Does anybody have any questions before we keep trucking? Okay.
What would be considered high value content?
So high value content will be anything that like answers questions. So again, going back to like, remember, you guys remember the that funnel where it's attention at the top and then it gets skinnier and down at the bottom is decision. So the way that you get people from, okay, you've grabbed my attention, I want to know more about this, to, okay, I'm ready to pull the trigger. Like I'm ready to buy and I'm ready to buy from you. The way that you get them from point A to point Z is to answer their questions, show case studies and testimonials. Like those are like kind of the huge, pieces of high value content that you're going to be creating. So like when I say high value content, let's use being in the affiliate marketing education niche as an example. So high value content is, and we're actually going to talk about this. I can't remember if it's today or on Friday, but how you can determine what high value content you should create. But you can ask your audience, and I'm gonna find my this feedback loop. Can y'all see my feedback loop? Okay, so remember, like when we create content, whether that's TikTok content, YouTube, Facebook, wherever we're creating content. So we're creating it and then our customer is consuming it. And that's where it's like a customer touch point. We can also get customer touch points whenever we come in contact with our customer, like directly, meaning they're in our DMs, we're in their DMs, we're emailing back and forth, we're on a discovery call with them on Zoom. But basically wherever we're getting feedback or information directly from or indirectly from our customer. And so then we kind of go to that orange circle, which is like the feedback. And we'll get indirect feedback, meaning like they don't tell us anything directly with their words, but they do give us feedback like, oh, I didn't like this video on TikTok, so I didn't watch it. So you can get indirect feedback based on the number of views you get or the watch time that you get. So if you have a video that flops, that's indirect feedback from your market telling you, yeah, we're not super into this, some aspect of this. Maybe it's the format, maybe it's the structure, maybe it's actual subject matter, maybe it's just how it was delivered. So you really have to like tease apart what aspects of that content were not successful or not effective, and then try again. You can also at that orange stage get direct feedback from your market. So Jill was talking about this, I don't remember, the other day, but you were saying you had created a piece of content and then somebody came into your DMs and they showed interest and they were asking you all these questions like, I'm just going to make up questions as an example, but how does affiliate marketing work? Like, what do I need to do to get started? How much time does it take every day? So those were some of the questions like that Jill was getting asked in her DMs from somebody in her audience. And so what did Jill do? She answered all the questions the gal had, which was fantastic. Then she took that feedback and iterated or like changed things up and created a new piece of content, that action based on feedback. So knowing that that woman had those questions for her, she then created a new video on TikTok that talked about the questions that she had just answered. Because the chances are, if one person in your audience has those questions, she's not the only one. It's probably a lot more people. And so it's, going around and around in that circle to get the questions that people have, Chad. And so maybe that could be answered in a TikTok video. Maybe you need to grab them, bring them into your Facebook group and do like a longer piece of content. Like, oh, you want to know how to build a funnel? I'm not going to show you that on TikTok because that would be like 30 videos long, So get them to a place like Facebook where you could do a live training for a half an hour and show them, hey, here's how you build a funnel using ClickFunnels. And this is why you would need one. And this is kind of the purpose that it serves. Getting like those case studies and testimonials. And we're also going to talk about that next week, but those are other pieces of high value content because they are straight from the horse's mouth. One of your actual real life clients, you can go around telling people till you're blue in the face. Oh yeah. I really value, going above and beyond for my clients and making sure that they have everything that they need. And like, this is why I feel so strongly about it. Cause like, I love teaching and coaching and mentoring, and it just feels like really important for me to like, make sure that my clients are like well-educated, well taken care of, and can, take their business long-term. You can tell people that all day, every day. But when they hear it from someone that's not you, that doesn't have any vested interest in making you look good or vouching for you, it just has so much more weight. And so wherever and however you can gain those testimonials and case studies from folks that you've helped and that have glowing things to say about you, definitely take advantage of that and document those via screenshot, via a 1 minute recording on their phone that they send to you, whatever they want to do. But in as much as you can kind of capture, this is what I was struggling with. I had tried this other thing didn't work. Then I found Chad. This is what he did for me. It all of a sudden clicked. It made sense. I was able to get it up and running. And now I have leads coming in because I have my funnel set up finally. You know what I mean? So that's like that testimonial that you would want to document. And that would be a high value piece of content. All right. So now we're getting into the juicy stuff of the 7-hour rule. So how do you get 7 hours of high value content in front of your leads? Like, hope that they see all of your TikToks for 7 hours? No, because that's really at that attention stage of the funnel. And it's not going to be super high value. It's going to be valuable, but it's going to be a lot of attention oriented stuff where you're telling your story, getting folks to know, like, and trust you, getting them into your Facebook group so that you can continue to like build that community, establish your authority, and provide that high value content. And so again, we're not hoping that people are going to see our content. We're going to create systems and automations that are going to get that content in front of people. So this is done through an automated email sequence and using a scripted DM sequence. So again, if this sounds at all intimidating, I get it. But the good news is that the majority of the work is done for you. And so really, it's just a matter of implementing it. This 7 email sequence is going to welcome and indoctrinate your leads, warm them up by educating them with valuable content, allow them to get to know you and view you as an authority. So here's like an example. And this is like the one that I use in my group. So thanks for joining XYZ group. That will be your guys's, like, your group name. So like, for example, thanks for joining Quit the 9-to-5 Grind with affiliate marketing. And congratulations on taking the first step towards whatever the transformation is that you are offering from being in your group. So if I can already hear what you guys are thinking, which is, I'm just teaching people how to do affiliate marketing. No, that's like saying, a drill just creates a hole in the wall. No, a drill means that you can put a hole in the wall that's going to attach the painting that your wife has been bothering you for months to hang up, and you're not going to get nagged anymore. So it's not just the feature, you're not just learning affiliate marketing. That sounds boring. It's not just the feature, it's the benefit and the meaning of that benefit. So you want, like, it's in the title of my group, Quit the 9-to-5 Grind. The transformation being learn high income skills so that you can quit your job and find your purpose. Or do you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between just affiliate marketing. Oh, I just teach people affiliate marketing. No, I teach people how to find time and financial freedom using affiliate marketing as a tool. Like, and so you can quit your job, you can pay off all your debt, you can change your life. That's the transformation I provide. Not just, oh, well,
lifestyle.
What's that?
The laptop lifestyle. I feel like that's a good one.
Yeah. And people like really identify with that terminology, like that living the laptop lifestyle has a certain connotation of like being able to like travel, work anywhere you want. And it's really about like location freedom. And it really like paints that picture. So remember, going back to your guys' mission statement, remember what your mission statement is. And if you haven't like solidified that, really start to think about who you want to help, how you want to help them, like to do what, and how you plan on helping them. So again, using like the example that we used during that week, I help affiliate marketers scale their business to 5 figures a month by building a personal brand, creating a community, and utilizing automations and systematizing their business. So it's like very clear what the transformation is. And it's, my transformation in the context of this email sequence could be, thanks for joining XYZ group and congratulations on taking the first step towards hitting consistent 5-figure months, or whatever that transformation is. So moving on, I need you to do 3 things if you haven't already. Number 1, watch the welcome post on the group's announcement page. And I actually need to change that. Featured posts, because Facebook changed it from having an announcements tab to featured posts. So watch the welcome post, which is the video that welcomes people to your group and sets those expectations of who this group is for and what's expected in terms of engagement. Leave a comment introducing yourself and whitelist this email address. I'm going to be sharing some awesome tools and tips in the coming days that will help you achieve whatever outcome. Basically, don't just tell people whitelist this email address, but here's why you should. Here's why you should care about receiving my emails and making sure they're being delivered to your inbox. So that outcome could be make your first high ticket commission within 30 days, something like that. That's like an example of an outcome versus making more money with affiliate marketing. That's too general, too vague. You really want it to be a specific outcome. Like you could check a box, yes or no, this was or was not accomplished. Since you joined the group, you get free access to and then whatever the name of your lead magnet is. For me, I have a free course in my Facebook group that Facebook group members can access. So nobody outside of the group can access it. And so I'll put the link to my lead magnet right here. If you have a lead magnet like a PDF or an ebook, or you could even create like a 5-minute training video that talks about the 10 best high ticket affiliate marketing products to promote. Or here is my quick and dirty guide to starting to make content on TikTok. Remember, like, who's your target audience? Like, are they folks who are terrified of technology? They're terrified of TikTok because they've never created a TikTok before. Be like, yeah, that was me. I've made this video for you that shows you kind of how to exactly get started on TikTok and not feel like you're going crazy, So if you haven't created a lead magnet, I encourage you to do that. If you need help, just let me know. If you've already created one, you can link it here. And this will help you understand, and then the core result of your ultimate result. So if you are like, what the heck are you talking about, the core result of your ultimate result? So something that Russell Brunson talks about when he describes how to create a lead magnet. So think of, and we're just going to talk about this super briefly, but your ultimate result. So that's like that transformation that you provide people. So achieving consistent 5-figure months. So the core results are kind of like, what are the big steps that somebody has to master or become proficient in order to achieve that ultimate result, So just using my mission statement as an example. So that's develop an effective personal brand. Build a highly engaged community. Forgive the formatting. Okay, so just using this as our example. So if the ultimate result up here is building that 5-figure a month online business, here's the way to do it. These are my core results. So develop an effective personal brand, building highly engaged community, and create systems and automations. So these are like the steps to achieving that ultimate result. So your lead magnet will kind of give like a bird's eye view or like an overview of what those main steps are, those core result steps, which are these guys. So your lead magnet can talk about creating content and telling a story. At a high level, building a highly engaged community. You could talk about creating a community on Facebook and how to create effective personal brand content on Facebook, and then creating systems and automations. You can talk about using Calendly and Zoom and a couple other automation tools. So that's just, again, that's a pure example, but your lead magnet can be just, a high level overview of these results, the step-by-step components that will help your audience achieve that ultimate result. Does that make a little bit of sense? So you want to list the steps of your core results here. So like as an example, so in my welcome email, I say, so what those steps are that my lead magnet, my free course is going to help you to understand is picking a niche and finding products to promote, building a sales funnel, creating an automated email sequence. I'm going to leave this in here just as like a frame of reference. And then driving traffic to your funnel. So basically you're helping build context, kind of simplifying it a little bit. You don't want to overwhelm them with technical jargon or crazy information. And in fact, in my welcome email, I say, does all this sound foreign to you? Like right here, I say, does this sound completely foreign to you? If so, it's okay. As you go through the course, post your questions in the Quit the 9-to-5 Grind Facebook group, and we'll help you to work through them. And then close. And then I also include a PS, which is setting the expectation on behavior and culture of people in the group. This is like pretty much verbatim what I have in my PS section. I don't allow any lurkers in the group, people who just hang out but never comment or post. I'm committed to helping you succeed with affiliate marketing, but I can't do it for you. You need to be equally committed. So you want to set that expectation in email number 1. You want to have that in your welcome video that you have pinned at the top of your group in your featured section. Like you really want to make sure there's no point in building a Facebook group of people who are not engaged. It's a waste of your time. And it's more trouble to like untangle that and try to keep people out that are not good quality leads. So even if you get one lead in a week and that person is a quality lead that's like here and they're gung-ho and they're ready to learn and ready to take action, that person is 100 times better to have that one person than to have 1,000 people who are not ever going to read your posts. Like those are all dead leads. Do you know what I mean? All right. And so that's email number 1. And then we could scroll email number 2, so on and so forth. But basically the sequence, like I said, is all about providing value to folks, allowing them to get to know you. And it's also going to be complementing what they're getting on the front end in your Facebook group. And so we're going to talk more about that right now. On the front end means like within the actual Facebook group itself versus on the back end via this email sequence. Okay. Can everybody, no, because I stopped sharing. Hold on. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
So on the front end in your Facebook group, you're going to have an automated, or I'm sorry, not automated, but you will have a DM sequence. And this is really where like you can live or die in the DMs. Like you're going to learn so much about your audience's pain points, problems, questions, roadblocks, etc., by soliciting feedback from them in DMs and reaching out to them, providing them with high value content in DMs, also on calls, which we're going to talk about in a second. But that's also where you get to like build and develop rapport and know, like, and trust. A lot of times, and obviously it depends on each kind of individual person, but a lot of times folks won't want to ask a question in the Facebook group because they feel like it's stupid or they're going to look stupid. Whenever somebody reaches out to me directly on Facebook Messenger and asks a question that really should be asked in my big Facebook group, I answer it for them. And then I let them know, hey, this would be the perfect question to ask in the Facebook group because you're not the only one that has this question. And it would be helpful for me to be able to answer it in there because then it's like everybody gets to see it and not just you. So basically I kind of like gently redirect them to posting it in the Facebook group and letting them know, like, this is the place to ask questions. This is the place to get help. Nobody will ever fault you or shame you for asking a question in the group. And if they do, I'll boot them to the curb because that's not what we're about, But so that tangent aside, I want to share with you the Facebook group DM sequence. And I have recently amped this up. So if you have seen this before, this is like the amped up version of it. So this first message, and please let me know, like raise a hand or something if my audio is bad or anything like that. My computer is struggling right now. But this day one message, this is the welcome message that is sent automatically whenever you approve new people in your group. This is sent by group leads. And this is the message that I send to the people that I approve in my group. So, hey, Paulette, I've just approved you to join your group name. And it is important to have your group name in there. Like quit the 9-to-5 grind, because maybe this person doesn't remember who you are. And they're like, who is this broad that's sending me this message? So it's helpful to have that in there to remind people. But I've just approved you to join the group. I'm super excited to have you. Be sure to check your email for, whatever lead magnet. For me, it's like the beginner's affiliate marketing toolkit. And for important info about how to be successful with affiliate marketing. Looking forward to seeing you active in our group. Again, reiterating and setting that expectation of culture and kind of etiquette, if you will. And then thanks in your name. And again, this is like, we're going to set this up in group leads, and we'll have a little time to talk about this at the end. So you can see where you would even have this message and how you can tweak yours to make it ideal to go out to the folks that you approve for your Facebook group. Day 3, a manual voice memo from your personal profile. Hey there, just checking in to see how you're finding the group. Do you have any questions on where to get started? If they say yes, send them a high value video that addresses the topic. If you don't have a high value video that addresses the topic, just like take note of how they responded, like take note of what they said they needed help with or where they needed help getting started. And then use that as your, your feedback loop and make a video about it. And when I say like make a video about it, you don't need to like have studio lighting, and you don't need to have perfect sound with like a little person holding a boom mic and all that. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to truly address their questions that they have. And then when those same questions come up from the next person that you reach out to, you have that piece of recorded content that you can access over and over and over again. And if you're wondering why I say a manual voice memo, it purely makes people feel special. They will be more likely to respond to you, in my experience. You don't have to record one every single time, although you absolutely can. If your Facebook group is only 20 people, as it's growing, you can absolutely personalize this and be like, hey, Paulette, this is Barb. I just wanted to see like where you're at with, my free course. I know last time we talked, you said you're struggling to pick a niche. I just wanted to see if you needed any help or, where things are at. Anyway, hope you have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Sending that, like your leads are gonna be like, she cares about me. Like she's here to help me. It goes a very long way. So in as much as you're able to like personalize that kind of a thing, like sending that manual voice memo, go ahead and do it. If they say, no, I'm good. Cool. Let me just send you this free training video that'll help you with whatever. So again, it could be anything. It could be like, oh, here's a hack or a workaround for how to promote ClickFunnels as an affiliate, the 14-day free trial, even if they don't give you your 14-day free trial link, because you have to reach a certain threshold in order to promote the 14-day free trial of ClickFunnels. And if that doesn't make sense to you, just know that it would be a high value video. Maybe it's only like 5 minutes long, but so anyway, you're just, again, adding free value, no strings attached, so on and so forth. So we have days 1, which is the automated message from group leads, day 3, day 5, 7, 14, 13, 60. And then this is like the tool that I use for Facebook group DM follow-up. So when you automatically approve folks, or when you manually approve folks, it doesn't matter. But whenever you approve folks in your Facebook group, once you have group leads connected, their information goes to a spreadsheet, a Google sheet that looks like this. And so what I do is grab the relevant info. So first and last name and the date they joined. And then these are all formulas these are all formulas that tell me when I need to take action to message them again. And so what you could do, like you could put your day 3 message in here. So if I go back to the manual voice memo. So if I just add this in here. And then what their response is, maybe they say yes, maybe they say no, maybe they ghost me. But I would record the response in here. And the reason why that's important, and again, this is not going to be relevant until way down the road, but it will eventually help you to pinpoint the number of positive responses of people being like, oh yeah, go ahead and send it, or no, I'm fine, or ghosting you. So I'm not going to go like way more in depth with that because I don't want to overwhelm you in terms of any future paced stuff, but just know that it's valuable for you to get in the habit of recording the stuff now. But again, the whole purpose of everything that we were just looking at in terms of your email sequence and your DMs, the whole purpose is to get that content in front of folks, that 7 hours of content, because those people are exponentially more likely to convert to a high ticket product. As well as it helps people to get to a discovery call with you. And we're going to talk more about that on Friday, because a discovery call is like, again, that really powerful customer touch point where you can see what help people need, get that direct feedback from your audience. And dude, I will be honest, sometimes you'll be on a call with someone with no other intention than to just provide them value. And they'll be like, please teach me everything you know, I'll pay you. And you're like, well, okay. Like when you get to connect with people on that level, and you've already put so much valuable content in front of them, they're like blown away. They'll think you're a celebrity. They've seen you on TikTok. They've seen all this content where you look, to put it in a colloquial expression, like a badass. And then they will be like, wow, like, I can't believe I'm in the presence of Sheila or Amanda or Susan. Like, this is mind boggling. And they'll be so starstruck. You know what I mean? That they will just, and they see the value that you've already put forth, and they will want you to share that with them. And oftentimes they're ready to pay you, even though you're not even ready to make an offer to them.